So welcome everybody to our Time to Thrive coaching session for July the 3rd. Woohoo! It's been a wee bit of a while since I've ran one of these, so bear with me. I'll remember all the stages, I promise. So welcome Drinka, Michelle, and Shanna to our Time to Thrive coaching session. We have several people that have requested recordings for this one because they're not able to see it. So we'll give them a good show today. We'll give them a good show. Today is a very exciting one. Oh, shoot. This isn't supposed to stay SWAT. It's supposed to stay goals. Because today we put in our 90-day action plan. So Michelle behind herself has this beautiful book called Think and Grow Rich over her right shoulder, everybody. And anybody want to guess what the largest section of that book is called? Michelle, do you know what the largest section of the book is?
Organized planning.
That is the organized planning. You betcha. So the great late Napoleon Hill himself, who was all about goals, who was all about setting big dreams and big stakes for yourself and thinking yourself into incredible results and into incredible success. The largest portion of his book, guess what, everybody, was still driven down into set goals, put dates on them, organize a plan to get yourself to that spot, and execute on the plan. Right? Most of us, we have dreams. Some of us, we turn them into goals, which is essentially attaching a due date to a dream. And rather than plan our way to succeeding in those things, we sit back and we hope that they accomplish them. They hope that they show up. That doesn't work, right? We have to create the space in our lives for great things to happen and then go about taking action towards inviting those great things into our lives. Because without the action, without the plan, we just play in here. So ultimately, that is what today is all about. And here is our agenda. We will certainly dive into getting focused here, our checkpoints and check-ins, aka our KPIs. I'm going to take some of your toughest challenges and throw them down on the round table and get some ideas. We'll do a hot seat coaching. And our level up lesson today is going to be all about building that 90-day action plan. So this is about taking your SWOT analysis, understanding what your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats are, creating a series of goals out of that information, and then sort of labeling it down, putting it into with great pen and in concrete that you want to get these things accomplished in the next 90 days. So without further ado, though, let's do our thing, everybody. Let's get started. I need a little bit of water here. But if you can please open up your microphone so I can hear your beautiful dulcet tones, we shall read our key mantra together here. So is everybody ready with a show of thumbs up? We all ready to rock and roll?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So let's start it off in 3, 2, 1. My
mind is the
garden.
My
thoughts
are
are the seeds.
And I can
grow flowers, or I can grow weeds.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you guys, I'm going to share something very personal for a moment here. Because for those of you all know that I've been going through a health challenge, we shall call it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is amazing to me what the difference my mind makes throughout this process. You know, talking to people, talking to my doctors and everything else, people hear the cancer word and it becomes the dominant thought in their minds. Understandably so, really, right? But the fact is that for me, and I can honestly say this, there were some days where it really clouded my mind and my heart. But for the most part, I never thought about it. I didn't let it come in. I didn't want to plant those weeds. I was going through a treatment process to get this stuff out of my body. Right? And my only thought when it came to that was that this is burning away the bad. And I'll be left with nothing but the good. And it wasn't an easy thought to hang on to on certain days and certain hours. That's for sure. But, you know, I've listened to a lot of people who have gone through the same thing that I have. And their really strong focus is that I just don't want to think about this anymore. I just don't want to think about it. I want to be past all this. I want to be through it all. I don't want to be stuck here anymore. And it was pretty rare that I ever felt that way, to be really frank and honest with you guys. It was pretty rare. For the most part, I mean, obviously you don't want to be in pain anymore. You don't want to be so exhausted you can barely open your eyes anymore. You want to be able to do the things you want to be able to do, you know, play with your kids and all the beautiful stuff in life and help my clients. But the fact was is that it was a process, and I understood that I was going through the process, and I didn't want to have the weeds grow like seed and then really grow, that I was going to be stuck in this for a long time, or that it was going to follow me around. And I want to bring that up because we all have choices here every single day as to what we put, what we plant in our minds. And part of the Time to Thrive process is making sure that we're, plucking those weeds. We're not allowing anything to take root that is going to prevent us from achieving our goals. And so please take 30 seconds here and write down what is, and we're going to change this a little bit because I want to ask you too, what's a beautiful flower that you've been nurturing, that you've planted in your mind and you've been nurturing? And what is a weed that has popped in and that you need to get rid of? So in your notes, please write these things down. Take 30 seconds, trust your instincts, trust your gut. What's one of each? And just give me a thumbs up when you've got it. Darinka's got one, got hers. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, good. So, Darinka, why don't you just quickly share what your flower is and what your weed is for us, please?
My flower is enjoying the local events because it's that season, and I really am. So that's my flower.
Wonderful. And your weed?
Weed, in our shop is, we sort of split the shop. Most of it is caribou paws, and we look like we're gonna make most of the shop that. It's the other company that I've blended in with the shop. The weed that is a weed. Like we're scaling it back considerably. So yeah, it used to be a flower, but now it's more of a weed.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, if you want to tackle that in our hot seat coaching later, then we can talk about that for sure. Okay, perfect. Good to identify those weeds and know what we want to pluck. All right, magnificent Michelle, what do we got here for flowers and weeds?
Hi, my flower is that I'm excited to grow my business and be in the top 1% of my company. And my seed is that, or my weed seed is that I can't do it alone and I don't know who's going to join me.
Okay. Yes. Haunted by the who is gonna do this with me process. Yep, I feel you. Okay, great. Well, let's hang on to that one as well for the challenges section when we get to it later. Excellent. All right, Miss Gorgeous Shanna, how about yourself? What do we got for flowers and weeds?
Well, I don't know if it's a little too vast, but right now the flower is the perseverance and the growth in my business that I'm I'm working on and seeing.
Mhm.
And then my weed is personal problems pulling my focus and attention. I'm having a bit of a struggle with that.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, if we want to tackle that in our challenges, we can hang on to that too, Shanna. Okay, perfect. Now, it's so important, you guys, to identify both sides of this coin, right? And every time we take steps forward, this is the process. Don't forget, bad shit doesn't go away. We just get better at handling it, right? I'll never forget. I'm at a Tony Robbins event in Edmonton, of all places, and he had just lost. I don't know. I think he said over $2 million in a deal, right? So he was flying up on the plane there, and he'd found out that he'd lost $2 million. And Darinka kind of nods her head and says, "Oh, big deal," but still $2 million, right? The fact is he's like, "Sure, you might, Big Tony on stage. He's like, yes, my companies do all this money and blah blah blah, but he's like, in the end, it's still $2 million that is gone. Boom, vanished. Never going to get it back, right? So no matter how big of a business you have, right, at some point you still recognize the fact that it's $2 million." And he said, even me 10 years ago, I would have spent 10 or 15 minutes yelling and screaming at this guy and ranting about how frustrated I was that he made this massive mistake and cost us $2 million. I was angry. So he was pointing out that we all still have shit that shows up, right? And for some of us, it's always the same thing. And this is our life's process, is we keep having to deal with it. He said the thing that changes is how long you spend wallowing in the frustration and the anger and the negative emotions surrounding that thing. It's never that the anger and the emotion doesn't show up. It's never that the shit doesn't show up. It's how long you sit in it. And how long do you think he let himself be frustrated about that? Yes, on his private plane. Yes, on his way up to Edmonton from wherever he was. How long do you think he let himself sit in? Any guesses?
5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Janice is 5 minutes. Okay. Dorikas is 5 minutes. Michelle, how about you? What do you think? 5 minutes? He said 15 seconds. He said it was about 15 seconds. He said, so that's the difference. It's not that it never happens. It's not that it doesn't show up. It's not that it doesn't frustrate us. It's just how long are you going to let that be the thing that you're focused on? And this isn't a business question, right? I mean, obviously it can be applied to that. This is just a life question, right? It's how long I'm going to let that thing stand in the way. So it's very important to know what your flowers are that you can focus on and keep growing and nurturing, and what your weeds are that you can ignore, stomp out, pluck, get rid of. Right? Because the dandelions keep freaking coming back. They're still the dandelions. Oh my God, I'm dealing with this like choking vine in my huge garden. I pull this thing out, I get rid of it, I think it's gone, and then like not even, it feels like 90 minutes later, I see more of it showing up, wrapping itself around roses and everything like that. So anyway, I think I made my point. So let's move forward here into our checkpoints and check-ins, you guys. So start date on this one would be, let's see here, June the 15th, and this would go all the way to June the 28th. You think about it, and there's so much that goes on in just simply 2 weeks, isn't there? Shanna's business Facebook page is just growing like crazy here without anything but just some organic posting, which is great. So revenue goal, what was it? What did you want to do for business? What was your revenue goal? And what did you hit? How many sales did you want to make? How many did you make? And what was their average value? How many leads did you want to collect? And how many did you collect? Now, I'm going to do a separate educational video on this piece, you guys, that you'll all have, just in case there's any confusion about how to find your Facebook and Instagram KPIs, because we've done that before, and I'll do another video on that. And certainly about how to identify your goals. But take a minute here and just, what did you hit? What did you want to hit? And how did it all unfold for yourselves? So I'll give you guys a couple minutes just to make sure. Yeah, Michelle.
Can I ask what KPI is?
Key performance indicator.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So these are metrics or numbers that we look for to indicate that the performance of something, in this case, our business, and in the specific case, our social media followings on Facebook and Instagram are pushing towards where we want them to get to. So put a slightly different way, Michelle, revenue and sales and leads are what they call a lagging indicator. So that means they are a look back at the result of things done, right? Whereas the Instagram and Facebook KPIs that we're looking for are leading indicators, meaning they are numbers that should, in theory, illustrate where we want to go, right? So put a slightly different way, once again, accountants look at what happened and they give you a bunch of lagging numbers, your revenue, your profitability, blah, 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 right? Whereas a marketer like myself or somebody who designs marketing plans like myself, we create leading indicators. This is where we want to get to. So these are the numbers that we're looking for. This is what we want to achieve. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. And then once we have sort of our numbers that we're looking for here that we achieved, what were the wins? Give yourself 2 or 3 wins for the last 2 weeks. What went really, really well? What's an awesome thing that's been happening or continues to happen? And what were some of the challenges? Yes, Michelle.
Is there a place that we can print this document out from?
Yeah. They should, you know what? I'll make sure that it gets sent over to you. But yes, this is a document that we'll have. We're going to set up a whole membership section that you'll be able to log into that will have all this paperwork as well right there as downloadables. So that's on my docket to have ready for August. And
thank you.
And so to make sure that you get all those pieces. But yes, I'll make sure you get it.
Perfect, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so by quick show of thumbs up here, who was able to hit their revenue goals for the last few weeks? Okay, we're unable to hit our revenue goals. All right. What about our sales made goal? So did everybody get the amount of sales that they wanted? So Drinka made the sales made goal. Okay. But Drinka, you didn't hit your revenue goal. Oh, you did. Okay, perfect. All right. Excellent. Okay. And then what about leads goals? So who was able to collect the amount of leads that they want? So in your case, Drinka, this would change more like to a new client's goal.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I did 2 events during that time, and which I'm so grateful for, because I got definitely new customers from that. And
Awesome.
there's a new lady coming today that I'm going to ask her, how did she find us? But definitely, and I think also, and I want to find more ways of reaching out to people, this new loyalty program in the store, that's making a difference
Cool. Very cool.
in a good way. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's give Drink a little round of applause. She accomplished all of the things that she was setting out to do. I love it. I love it. I love
Thank you.
it. Okay. And so then let's talk about wins and challenges. So, Shanna, why don't you talk about your wins and challenges over the last 2 weeks?
Oh, so my big win was securing the Cerebral Palsy Association coming to
Mhm.
preview the program with the potential partnership. And my challenges were I mean, I guess for me right now, there's such a focus on making my videos that's been my biggest challenge is getting myself into how much time I actually need to devote to that. I maybe underestimated it a little bit. Then if anything goes off, like say I'm shooting outside and it's bad weather or time management or something happens, I'm really then noticing how it's becoming a chase to get the work done. So
Mm.
that has been my biggest challenge. And I'm not sure if it's a mindset thing. I think maybe half. So that's what I'm working on as well. Not working on, I've done it. I've shifted my mindset as to how I need to approach that. And now it's just time in. So that's my challenge is just keeping that marketing aspect going. That's a big focus right now. And so I will I'm trying to, well, I'm not trying to. I am shifting my schedule around.
Mhm.
But it's still a work in progress. So what I'm doing now is I'm also in the inner circle of the Tony Robbins program, and so I have access to a lot of that type of training. So I've gone back to the RPM time management course that he gives.
Okay.
And I've just started back into that and just go back through that, get, that priority, cut out all the stuff that's taking the energy, taking the focus, and just really hone back into that. So that's how I'm approaching it. And I think that'll be a good approach. It's just, I'm just right in the middle of it this week.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for sharing. Perfect. Okay. And Dorinka, how about yourself? What are some of the wins and challenges over the last 2 weeks? And then we'll get down to zeroing in on which we want to focus on for each.
So wins are of the last few weeks I've done a few events, and especially the ones where it's the other company that I've just was prearranged to do those at the event.
Mm-hmm.
I also brought like brand new rack cards from the Caribou Paws, and that would just by putting it on the table would catch people's attention, and then a conversation would start. So that was definitely a win because just attracting people to that and potential new customers that way.
Mm-hmm.
It worked out really well. And my biggest challenge was, and I take total responsibility for it, is one of our suppliers. It's the holiday weekend coming up. They send emails saying this is when you need to order by in order to receive it by a certain time. Well, I didn't read it 100%, but that's fine. That's fine. That just opened up communication with all my customers saying, I screwed up. This is what I have. This is when it's coming. So, note to self, open up email and read it thoroughly.
Love it. Okay, great. Thank you.
So, yeah, I've figured out my own challenge, but boy, was that a learning process. And luckily, the distributor, they tried. They really did try. And they said, oh, no, I think, no, oh, sorry, we can't.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Oh, yeah.
And Miss Michelle.
Sorry, what was the question?
So what were some wins for the last 2 weeks? And then what's been a challenge or two that we need to unpack and tackle here?
Okay. So my win was that I achieved my bonus which I haven't done in forever
Great.
with my company. So that was very exciting. And my challenge is that I need to repeat that and do
Mhm.
more. And so I'm hopeful that if I come up with a plan, and actually implement things in Hourglass, that it'll be easy peasy, and I will definitely repeat that month over month.
Okay, perfect. Okay, excellent, you guys. So now we'll go into the round table. And what I want you to include in this process is both the weeds, okay, and pull out one of your challenges. So whether it's a weed that we want to tackle and unpack and deal with and get advice on, or whether it's a challenge that we want to unpack and get advice on. Okay, make sense? To have a few different things to sort of drill in on what we can unpack and start to help you push forward. So let's remember what the roundtable process is. So you want to state your challenge, all right? And then you want to do it as succinctly as possible. And then we're going to start pitching ideas to you. Your role here is to start writing down the ideas, not debating, not arguing, not trying to rationalize or give us great excuses, because we all have them. But your job here is to write down a lot of the ideas that are offered and see where the creative process takes you. And then internally pick one or two, preferably just one of those ideas, and plan on implementing that over the next few weeks to see where it takes you. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So let's go back up to the top here. So Shanna, what is the weed or the challenge that you'd like us to roundtable for you today?
I would be I'm presently creating a booklet, like a program booklet for my clients to have a takeaway. Because so normally I had given them a binder, and then I give them like paper handouts each class, and they put them all in the binder. But this presently now am wanting to make it like a properly printed, spiral ring little workbook sort of a thing. And so that's what I'm working on. And I'm just maybe wondering how much or how little to put in. My thoughts were to put in, each handout that they are getting in class, and then a little blip on, the why we're doing that focus, like boundaries. What does a boundary mean? And how boundaries help you real quick. And then your boundary handouts for that week. And then the next week, is active listening. And then, so here's why we do need active listening. It impedes the communication process if we interrupt, blah, blah, blah. Then I give them their active listening handout. So that's sort of how I'm doing it. I'm wondering if that's the best way. I'm wondering maybe how much or little to put in it.
Okay, great. So when something like this occurs, okay, so an important question. All right, and it's funny because I was coaching Keith Lloyd.
Coaching what?
So coaching Keith on Monday.
Oh, okay.
So Keith has hired me to help coach him a little bit. And we had a very similar conversation in the similar vein and it was sparked by this question, Shanna. Okay, ladies, whenever your business wants to grow, whenever you want to push things, we tend to gravitate to working on our business, right? Rather than doing something that we might need to do otherwise. So let me explain. Shanna, or let me demonstrate. Shanna, does this duotang that you've got, or this binder, and you handing them worksheets, how long have you been doing that?
Oh, the whole time, like 6 years.
Okay. And it's working?
No, I don't think so. They forget it, they lose it, they crumple it, I'm picking it up, they leave it behind. This is the problem.
Okay. Okay. And so you're wanting to fix it. Why?
I think it would be more professional.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Because the question always remains, what did Shanna bring up, you guys, when she was talking before? What was one of her challenges before?
my focus.
Correct.
Mhm.
And what did you realize in our conversation from last week that is going to be necessary to keep pushing your business? Because we now know what's starting to work. What are you running into?
Well, the time and mindset approach to my marketing videos.
Correct.
So you think I should not be making a workbook? I should be making a video? But what about the professional piece? Like, I'm trying to elevate as well. I want when cerebral palsy
Has
comes,
somebody said to you, I don't think your business is very professional because you're giving us a binder and handouts?
no.
So whose assumption are you using?
Well, in a standard, I mean, you kind of want to have a standard in your business.
Shanna, I'm not saying it's a great idea. It's not a great idea. I think it's a great idea. I think you should totally do it. But you know what's not a priority?
What?
Changing your workbook.
Okay. All right.
Did you hit your revenue goal?
Well, I didn't make one, so yeah.
Okay. Did you hit your leads goal?
I exceeded it because I didn't make one.
Oh. One is higher than zero, ladies and gentlemen. Because
Yes.
this is what happens,
Okay.
right? Is that, and this is what Keith was running into. Keith is redesigning his business portfolio of products that he's offering, his services that he's offering. And I'm like, why the hell are you doing that? Well, I mean, I think this could be better, or this could be improved. And I'm like, when was the last time you did video marketing? When was the last time you posted on social media? When was the last time? He's like, because I need to improve my volume of clients. I said, okay. When was the last time you did? And I listed off half a dozen different marketing key things to do. And he's like, oh, well, it's been a long time. And I'm like, so then why? Let me ask you, why, when you need more clients, are you changing the thing that clients buy when there's nobody at the front desk to buy anything? And I can tell you why. And Shanna, you know exactly why. Because it's the safe thing to do. I told this to Michelle when her and I were talking last month as she got started, right? I said, Michelle, entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It's not for those who want to play easy. It's just not. When we realize that our best version of our business is on the other side of some tough shit that we don't necessarily want to do, that makes us uncomfortable, right? What would Colin say? He said the poopy pants thing, right? Right? He said you got to do the things that make you poop your pants, and then you just go do them with poopy pants. I love you, sweetie. I love you. And I think that your workbook is probably a great idea. I just think it's secondary. You talked about prioritizing. I think Drink is nodding with me here. It's probably secondary to going out and pounding out 2 or 3 more videos.
Right. Yeah, I am getting bogged down in all the extra tasks.
But you're making them for yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, Michael.
You bet it is.
All right. I'll make the videos.
I just think that in the end, you could spend 5, 6 hours, 7 hours designing this beautiful workbook and putting all this stuff in there.
Yeah.
And that would be 5, 6, 7, 8 videos that don't get done.
Yeah.
That you get frustrated about, that you panic about.
Mm.
And then we don't keep the rhythm that we've established up.
Yep. Okay. All right, I'll give them the handouts that we have that I can hit print on right now. I'll make them their little binder to go, and I will do that in my off season.
There you go.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to give you the next stage, and this isn't as much a roundtable discussion because I pounced on something here for everybody. I hope that's okay. But freelancer.com. I'll bet you can have a beautiful workbook design for about $25.
All right. I'll look
What
it
do
up.
you get paid per hour?
Me? I'd say 25 on paper.
$25 an hour?
Mhm.
Well, A, you're worth 10 times that much. Easy.
I'll start taking 10 times that soon. Right
Well, no,
now,
but my point is that when you're working, right?
yeah.
If like, don't forget here, Shanna, that you're changing these people's lives and their children's lives. The value on that is tremendous. Oh, did we lose Shanna? I think we lost her. Might have lost her. But my point, ladies, is that we live in a world now where we can take advantage of economies of scale, meaning there's different countries that are going to do different things with their workforce at a fraction of the price. You know, the Gap makes its jeans in Korea or wherever it makes its jeans for, $3.80 for a pair of jeans because that's the way they make profit. So you might as well take advantage of the same concepts, right? If somebody in the Philippines or Indonesia or Pakistan is willing to spend 3 hours to design a beautiful workbook for you, and they're a professional graphic designer, and they're willing to do that for $10 an hour or $8 an hour, and they give you a $30 quote to do this workbook, why shouldn't you take advantage of that? Right? A local graphic designer is probably $75 an hour, if not higher. Does this make sense? Okay, cool. So let's go to Miss Darinka. So do you want to tackle a challenge? It sounds like you already did that. Or do you want to tackle a weed?
I did both, but I was more here just in case somebody, I could give my 2 cents worth, but at the same time, I've got like 2 minutes and then I do have to go.
Okay.
But I'm glad that I got in for the first 45 minutes for sure. So
Okay.
yes, Michelle can definitely go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Michelle. So you want to tackle weed or challenge, or are they kind of similar?
Thank you. I think they're probably similar. So my weed was that I can't do this alone. Like I can't grow my business by myself. So my challenge is finding people that want to do this business with me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And walk me back through what you did to have such a successful last 2 weeks then.
I honestly, I think that the stars aligned. Right? I've been talking to a lot of people about, the products in the business, and actually, I've been talking to people for months, and I think just all of it culminated, and I was able to, sponsor the right amount, and we had a new product launch as well. So I feel like my numbers are artificially inflated because of that, because I bought all the new products and I had a couple other people buy all the new products, and um yeah. So I think that's why I got to where I am last
Okay.
month, but I need to duplicate that again and do more. And that's where I feel like I can't do that by myself. It'd be nice to have team members
Mm-hmm.
want to do that.
Yeah,
Doing
Darinka, go ahead.
Can I ask, what is it that you do?
Of course you can. I have a business with Arbonne, so I'm a health and wellness consultant, botanically based products. So it's skincare, cosmetics, nutrition.
Yeah,
That's
I've heard of Arbonne. I just don't know all what they carry. So thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on for like the next couple of months. But then I am starting another business that is incorporating that into it, which is about advocacy for special needs children with the school districts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I haven't really done anything with Hourglass. I'm just trying to put some contacts in, started talking about doing a newsletter. But now, to Michael's point, should that be a priority, a newsletter? Like if I don't have people that are interested in anything that I'm doing, what's the point of a newsletter? So now I have to kind of rethink all that and figure out what I should learn first and do that.
Okay, so first off, the stars didn't align, Michelle.
Okay.
You worked for it. Okay, you worked for it. You said you spent months talking to some people, right? The only thing that happened, okay, the profound thing that happened was your energy changed. Your intention changed. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so.
Right? There was a deadline. There was a thing that had to get done, and we had a certain amount of time to do it, right?
Yeah. Well, they also put a challenge out too, so that kind of spurred me a little bit because they're going to give us more money if we make that challenge. So
you changed, right? To use a Shanna's business analogy, the horse has always been sitting there. You just got on and rode it this time.
that's a good one.
So my point is that please don't give away your power and your accomplishment by saying the stars aligned and I was able to, this happened, right? You've got that book right behind your shoulders. You manipulate the stars. So if you're waiting for the stars to align again, it could be quite a few months before you accomplish what you want. So from that perspective, let's please move that thinking out of your beautiful brain. It wasn't the stars aligned, right? Michelle has been doing the things and the results came from doing the things. And a part of that was the energy and the intensity with which you attacked this problem over the last few weeks. And so what does a challenge then do for you? What happens? What changes inside your body chemistry when this challenge occurred?
Just that I needed to talk to as many people as I could by the end of the month so I could get that extra money that they put on the table for me.
So in a company like Arbonne, they always have money on the table for growth, correct?
Yeah.
That's part of the whole point.
Right.
Right? There is a no ceiling on this process. Am I right?
Right.
So the money's always there.
It is, but I think it was the new product launch and being at the conference and everybody else's energy. Bye, Drinka.
Bye, Drinka. Thanks for joining. Okay. So once again, shifting of energy, right? And so this is what I'm getting at. Your state, to use a Tony Robbins word, changed. Correct?
Yes.
So what happens when there's a challenge or there's a new product launch and there's probably a promotion that goes along with that? What's the thing that happens when those things pop up?
Excitement and urgency.
That's right. And for those who build successful Arbonne businesses, do they wait for the company to deliver excitement and urgency to them?
No.
Correct. So what are we unpacking here?
That I need to create my own excitement and urgency every day.
Yeah. Yeah. That a big part of success is about being your own, right, energy generator, being your own excitement generator. And this is what this 90-day goal process is very helpful for, because you're going to put some goals down, right? And you're going to have two choices. You can either get excited about them and make them an urgent priority and work towards them, or you can ignore them. Pretend like you didn't do it. So this wasn't a align the stars moment for you. This was I've put in the energy, I've put in the work, and there is this level of urgency to what's happening. So how do you now replicate that? Right? How does Michelle want to take the reins of her own business and make growing distributors and customers a massive priority for her?
Just keep talking to more people.
Mm-hmm. Right? Keep talking to more people. Right? Keep turning over those rocks. The other thing too is that what I have found when you have access to a system like Hourglass, Hourglass is a comprehensive CRM and marketing system. So one of the things that it helps you quite a bit with is going from being a hunter to being a farmer, or going from being a hunter to being the hunted.
And see, I think I don't know enough about that and what it can do. Like, I know it's powerful, but I don't know where to start.
Yeah, and it's not about the software. It's about how do you want to be looked at? How do you, Michelle, want to be sought out? What do you want to be known for? Right? So this is the tricky part with any network marketing company. You have to stand out in the crowd for some reason, or else you look like every other distributor.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The success rate in multi-level marketing isn't high because people don't know how to market themselves and stand out and be different. For those who understand how to stand out and be different and market themselves, their success rate is pretty good. Okay. So who does Michelle want to help? How can Michelle stand out from the crowd and be different? Right? In your SWOT analysis, right? One of the things that would be a weakness, right? Or could be a weakness, I should say, is being vanilla, being bland, being just like every other Arbonne distributor. How does Michelle Moorhead stand out? How are you different than the other, 15,000 or 20,000 Arbonne distributors or more in the United States alone? Because people have lots to choose from. So how are you different?
Yeah, and that I don't know yet. I mean, unless I put it in conjunction with the advocacy part of it
Could be. Yeah.
and combine the two.
Yeah. I mean, if this is about advocacy, or at least in conjunction with that, then is there a way that these products really help children?
Some of them do, but I think I was thinking about focusing more on self-care of the parents.
Sure. But those parents aren't thinking about themselves right now. Remember, you have to meet your client where they are.
Right.
Right? A lot of them are thinking about their kids. And so is there a way to market or package or put packages of product together that are specific to helping their kids, or specific to helping, these stressed out moms, and you start talking about how what you do, right, what your products do can help them specifically.
Okay.
Does this help?
It does. I just need to figure out more of the marketing stuff, I guess, on Facebook and Instagram and how do I be the farmer?
Hmm.
You know?
Well, what are people doing that you watch? Shanna, what are people doing? Are there influencers out there, right? What are these people doing that you watch? Michelle, what are the people doing that you watch?
See, I don't know if I'm just an anomaly. I don't really watch people. I don't know who influencers are. Sometimes I just scroll and see who is ever on my feed, or I just post and then look back at my comments. I'm not social media savvy, I guess.
Okay. So one of the challenges that I laid down a few weeks ago, or was that just last week, Shanna? I don't remember now, was to spend anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes a day, getting on your social media feeds and looking at what those influencers are doing. Getting good at marketing doesn't happen by accident. It happens by absorption, by observing, watching, learning, right?
But how do you find the influencer that's like you? I mean, I know there's a lot younger um, women that are on there, and to me, they do crazy things, and that's just not me. So I guess I'd be looking for somebody more like me that's an influencer.
Sure. But you can even start with the Arbonne leaders themselves. Right? So
Okay.
let's do this. Let's do this exercise. Okay, because we have a little bit of time here. So what is one of the leaders in your industry?
Sheila Green.
Okay, found her. So let's share my screen here. Here she is, right?
Yep.
Success is not a goal, it's a byproduct of our choices and our work. Okay, Sheila Green is not some young pup.
Right.
Okay, she's not posting a ton on Facebook itself, on her business page. This is very recent, but I would guess that she might have more going on in her reels. Yep. So she's posting about product. She's posting about being confident. She's posting about success. Right? She's got pictures of her kids. Right? So this is a little bit of an indication as to what she's doing. Let's see here. Contact and info basics. And so how did she grow her business?
You asking me?
Yeah.
I mean, I think she just gets out there and talks to people because I don't think she gets a lot of people from social media.
Okay. So she's doing it old traditional style.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that what you want to do?
I want to do whatever way's going to work.
Well, Michelle, any way can work. This is about you, right? What way do you want it to work?
I mean, I think I'd rather do it more social media just because right now I can't get out a lot with my daughter. And,
Mhm.
you know,
Okay.
I
And
mean, I'd like to
anybody
do a
else?
combination of the two, but primarily social media, I think.
Okay. And anybody else that you know has had success with your business?
There is, but she's younger. Lacey Dilworth.
Am I spelling that right?
Let's see. Yeah, try that one. I think that's her.
Yeah, pretty quiet on Facebook. Right. So my whole point here is that we can reverse engineer what some of these people do.
Okay.
So Lacey's all over Instagram. right?
Yeah.
So she's just showing day in the life stuff for the most part. She has obviously a link here. So there we go. Isn't for everyone, but it's by far our biggest source of income. If you got a grit and drive, I can help you monetize your platform. Right? So to me, what she's offering, what she's showing people is how to use their social media as a business platform. And then she'll probably offer Arbonne as the way to do it. Right? The thing that you got to remember is that people are never going to buy Arbonne because of Arbonne initially, be it as distributors or as products. They're going to buy it to solve a problem. They're going to get involved to solve a problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So in her case, she's saying, look what you can do with the social media following. You can monetize it. I can show you how to do that. So she probably starts conversations and is able to invite people in and generate leads as business distributors because she's talking about using your social media as the way of building business. Does this make sense, Michelle?
Yeah, but don't you need a following first to do that?
Sure. I'm not saying you have to do what she did specifically. I'm saying you have to follow the concept, right? Hello, young lady.
Hey, Mom. Come on in.
Right? So that means what problem can Michelle solve up front that's going to attract people to be interested in what you do? And yeah, maybe that's solving stress for moms. You're moving around pretty well there, young lady.
Yeah.
Do you want to sit down?
Those kickboxing lessons will start soon then.
Yeah, she has PT later today.
Mm.
Okay. Let me say hi. This is Michael, and there's Shanna, right?
Hi, Shannon.
Hello.
Hello,
Nice to see
hello.
you. What happened to your leg?
What happened to your leg?
Uh, I broke it.
Ah, that
I was,
hurts.
yeah, I was in gymnastics.
Ah.
Oh, doing some flips and landed wrong?
I was on the high bar,
Hmm.
Mm.
and
Wow.
when I jumped down, I broke my ankle.
Oh, sorry to hear that. That must hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she broke 2 bones in her lower leg and had to have surgery.
Oh, jeez.
So she's coming along very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, power to you, young lady. You got this.
thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy recovering.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So Michelle, that's the part I'm getting at, right? Is that
Okay.
The idea here is that you have to be offering a solution for people.
Okay.
And so Arbonne's products and Arbonne's distribution concept can solve a lot of problems. So which problem do you want to focus on and solve? And for whom becomes the key question, right? It's like Shanna's work that she does with children can work for cerebral palsy children. It can work for autistic children. It can work for a wide range of kids, but you can't market to them all at the same time. You know, it's like we sell a lot of raw food here at the pet store that I work in or that I own and operate. The reason that a 28-year-old young lady with her, in her young family with her husband, they've got a Frenchie and it's their child right now. The reason that they're going to buy raw food for that Frenchie is very different than the reason that 38-year-old mom of 3 wants to buy raw food. Like deep down, they might feel like the same reason, but the initial reason they look at it is actually different.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, I think so.
What's it giving you? How is it making you feel? What's coming out of this for you?
Um, I guess I just need to figure out how I can help people with Arbonne. Like what specific thing, what specific problem?
Mm-hmm.
Can we tell her my happy mammoth story?
Yeah.
Right. So Michelle, I was saying last week that there's this product that I've seen for a while. Looks like a great product. It's interesting. It's Happy Mammoth and it's balancing your hormones, right? So I'm in a menopause state. So I've known it's there. It's, I've seen it. I haven't really checked into it. It looks okay. It's sort of been on my mind, but I haven't done anything about it until they started saying that it eliminates your swelling, your double chin. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Now I have a double chin. I need to eliminate my double chin. So now I want to deal with the product. It's always been there. It's always been good. I liked it. Yeah. It's vanilla, like Michael said, until they solved my specific thing about, hey, this deals with your double chin. And I was like, oh, that's me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm laughing at her.
No, it's good. It was fun. So that's a perfect story, Shanna, for explaining that, detailing what it is we're talking about. And Michelle, you're going to have to learn, right? Uncover for yourself what it is that makes you stand out from the crowd, what problem it is that you want to solve specifically, right? Or else you'll always be wondering, how do I attract people? Does this make sense?
Yeah.
When you are
Okay, so let's get into planning and mapping out the next 90 days then, shall we? I'm going to jump back over to my screen here. So, Michelle, for you, the biggest thing that comes out of this roundtable, in my opinion, is going, okay, what is the specific person that I want to help right now? And what type of solution can I provide? And then your content can talk about that, right? Then when you're out and about, you can talk about that specifically.
I think I'm nervous about pinning it down to one thing because I feel like I'm leaving everybody else out. And I know you're going to laugh because I think you've heard this quite a bit.
Oh, it's only the 10,000th time I've heard
I
that.
know.
But a boat that doesn't pick a direction goes nowhere. Oh, now the dog's going to come visit.
I think.
Right? The sheer fact of the matter is that if you don't pick a direction, nobody. Oh, here, let me change this a little bit. Because marketing is really a 5-letter word. Shanna, do you remember what that word is? Starts with a T and ends with a T.
Starts with what?
Starts with a T and ends with a T.
Oh. Marketing is a 5-letter word and it starts with a T and it ends with a T. I don't know it.
Trust.
Trust. Okay.
So, Michelle, if I say to you, I'm really good. So what do you do, Michael? Well, I help women who have children with challenges, right? Remove their stress. Relax, find a way of finding some peace in their lives because it's really tough for a lot of these moms. They're running into a lot of challenges when their kids have difficulties, autism, when they're running into ADHD stuff, whatever the challenges is, right? They get a lot of stress. So I help moms deal with that stress. Go, oh, okay, that's really, really cool. Or is that easy to trust me that way? Because you know what direction I'm going, right? Then somebody says, oh, I help people achieve their dreams and success. Right? Or I'm part of a company that focuses very much on helping people achieve their dreams and win at life. The fact of the matter is marketing is about building trust, and people trust you when you're going a direction. They might be somebody who you think could be in your business, for sure. But the fact is, you're never going to get to that stage of the conversation unless you're going a specific direction and they understand where that direction is, because then they trust you. Right. And I know this firsthand. I worked in the network marketing business for many, 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 many years. And the only time my team started to grow and actually make me money was when I stopped being vague and when I started to help only one specific client. Once that changed, then I was able to grow.
If you're vague in helping one specific client, they'll come to you. Then have you found that others will come to you as well?
Oh,
Even
you bet they will.
Of
course they will.
Okay.
Of course they will. There's a whole warm zone around those people. And then ultimately, you can then teach them what you've done, Michelle. You can say, look, I was able to grow my RBOB business because I focused on stressed out moms. My whole first 2 years when my business actually started to grow, I was focused on helping stressed out moms, right? Once I started to build a book of business, I was able to talk more about building a business and then attracted even more business-minded people. But you guys have a great product. The more product you sell and get into the more hands, guess who makes money? Michelle does. Right?
Yep. I'm all in, whatever you're selling. I trust you.
Well, and this is what I'm getting at, right? So but the fact of the matter is that you need to decide who you want to serve and how you want to serve them. And that allows you to make content that isn't generic. It isn't bland. It's not vanilla. It's not talking about all the same fluff and stuff that life coaches and network marketing people always talk about. Right? It's not talking about those things, at least not in the same language. Because once you've earned someone's trust, then you can open up to more conversation. Right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to talking about our 90-day action plans. Okay, I just have to quickly grab some water. I've run out. Hang on.
Shanna, can I ask quickly what you do for Confident Kids?
I teach youth and families emotional regulation, and we do it with horses as teachers.
Okay.
So yeah, so kids and families come in and they work alongside of our horses through obstacles that reinforce the objective for that day. So maybe it's personal boundaries, maybe it's active listening, and we reinforce that with emotional learning and mindset. And then they go into the arena and they experience the communication and the boundaries and all of that while they're working with the horses.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, we just create an environment for them to get it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, perfecto. So I will make sure that you get these sheets too as well, Michelle. With these processes, we don't have enough time to go over each one of these sections and for you guys to do all the work here in-house. So what we use our time here in Time to Thrive about is explaining how to do this properly, answering any questions you might have, and then ensuring that you're armed to be able to do this over the next 24 to 48 hours so that you get your 90-day goals all set out. Does that make sense? Okay. So first big thing is you have to define your quarterly vision. I'm going to have to add dates to this sheet. I think that would be important. So this particular quarter is obviously July through to August, and then by the end of September. So you have to ask yourself, Michelle, where do you want your business to be by September 30th, 2025? Where do you want the business to be? Shanna's got to ask herself the same question. What is the vision of my business by the time we reach September 30th, 2025? That's the question. Where am I getting to? What does it look like? Right? What are the big things that are crucial to your success over the course of the next 90 days? And then, did you have a chance, Shannon and Michelle, to put some work into your SWOT work over the last 24 hours?
I have my SWOT analysis. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I have.
Okay, so Michelle, this is that work, right? What are the strengths and the weaknesses and the opportunities and the threats to you and your business? Right? You're going to need to have 3 or 4 answers to your strengths, 3 or 4 weaknesses, 3 or 4 opportunities, 3 or 4 threats, so that you understand where your business is positioned in the marketplace. You understand what you're really good at, so that you can lean into those things, and you can understand what the weaknesses are. And then what we do is we use our SWOT analysis to identify different goals that we want to overcome, that we want to, or that we're different goals and different weaknesses and threats that we want to overcome. Business changes based on what's happening. Like you just experienced this, Michelle. You guys had a new product get launched, right? So business changes, things change, right? Arbonne's probably got new product ideas and new launches laid out for the next 24 months. You don't know them all, but they probably have a substantial plan to evolve the business over the next 2 years, right? So things are always changing. So what do you know about, what can you prepare for, and what goes in to this process? Does that make sense? And so when you're looking at your SWOT analysis, so Michelle, start with your SWOT, okay? But when you're looking at your SWOT analysis, you choose one strength over the next 90 days that you want to lean into. So Shanna, what is one strength of your business that you'd love to lean into?
Strong potential for community partnership and collaborations.
Love it. Okay. And then you pick one, and that becomes, right? So then you put that in there as what is a goal that Shanna wants to achieve over the next 3 months in conjunction with that strength. So that would go in the goal section. SWOT connection would be that what Shanna said about community partnership. So that would go here. What's the outcome of the goal? So why are we doing this? Like, what is the thing that Shanna wants to achieve? I want to have, 2 signed contracts, 3 signed contracts, whatever that is. And when do you want to have that signed by? Okay. And then we do the same thing for which weakness. What's the weakness you want to improve on, Shanna?
So a weakness that I want to improve on is me. Oh. Well, I'm going to stick with the, that my marketing hasn't been strong, and that's something that we're really focusing on right now. So that's what that's a weakness that I need to overcome.
Well, the marketing's been fine. It's that the video creation is what you're talking about specifically, right?
Yeah. Well, no, all of it.
Okay.
like I'm all my marketing in general needs to upgrade. It's been a weakness. I haven't done a great job with my marketing. And so that what we do together is like the biggest piece of it, but still I have to make the calls, still I have to,
Yep. Okay.
you know, service the old clients, and that's where I've been needing improvement. That's a weakness.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. And then so that would, once again, we put that in. What's the goal? Right. So Shanna's going to take that weakness and turn it into a goal. SWOT connection is that's, my marketing's been a weakness. I want to improve my internal marketing. What's the outcome? When's the deadline? Right. Now, one thing I would say is your strength, Shanna, that's almost more of an opportunity to me because that's outside of you. So strengths and weaknesses are internal, opportunities and threats are external. So meaning that your community partnerships is more of an opportunity in my mind than it is a strength.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So a strength. Well, honestly, right now, my strength would be my investment with time marketing, my guidance in that marketing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Very cool. So then your part of your marketing weakness and part of your marketing is strength. So therefore, which parts to lean into. So more videos, right? And then, as you said, picking up the phone, making more connections, that type of thing. Okay, great. And then so you do the same thing, Michelle, for opportunities that you see, right? And then the same thing for threats. So an opportunity for you, Michelle, might be social media. It's a huge opportunity, right? Pick a platform, be it LinkedIn, be it Facebook, be it Instagram. And how do you want to connect with and communicate with these busy moms that feel stressed and overwhelmed? How do you want to do it? What are you going to do? It's a huge opportunity for you. The threat, right, in your case could be there's a lot of people that are trying to move product and attract people through social media, right? So the threat is being too generic, being too simple, being too vanilla. How do I fight back against that? And I'm just coming up with stuff off the top of my head here, but you need to do that SWOT analysis, and then these go in as your goals. Then once we're done, you prioritize in 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one would be the number 1 priority? Which one is the number 2 priority? Which one's the number 3? Which one's the number 4? So that when you have some time to go, okay, what do I need to work on next? You default to priority number 1.
Okay.
Right? You default to priority number 1. Then I would make sure that you break your goals down into some monthly steps that you want to take. Right? This is a big project. So how do I know I'm on track by the end of July? What needs to have been happening? What needs to be in place? If you want to look at people who are successful, people that make great money, people that achieve what they want, this is how their brains operate. Right? They take they take these big projects and big things and they start breaking them down into manageable sections. And then they make sure they keep the train on the tracks by having check-ins. Organized planning, right, Michelle? Okay, so any questions about this process?
No.
Now, Shanna, this is the second time you've been doing it, right? How was it the first time? Was this a valuable process the first time you did it? And what did you run into that you might be able to improve upon?
Honestly, the first time that I did it was just like start the process to get me being even intentional. I didn't achieve all of the things. I didn't put enough focus on this. I think so. What will help me is when I write this out, then I keep it out. I need to see it maybe more. I need, like, it helped me just earlier, just pulling back to what's most important. And I think defining it like this is going to really help with that. And it's going to also align with my RPM training that I was talking about, where you have that goal and then the things, everything comes into play rather than a to-do list. I've been running on a to-do list, Michael. So this is getting me off of that.
Good.
Yeah.
Great. Michelle, any thoughts and questions about the 90-day action plan?
Not yet. I'll probably have someone I actually go to write all the stuff down.
Okay. Yeah. Well, put them in the Access Pass Facebook chat, and that's a good way for us to, as a group, help you solve them.
No, wait, the Facebook chat?
Yeah, the messenger chat.
Oh, the messenger thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was supposed to be on someplace else that I'm not.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Well, that kind of leads us to the end of our Time to Thrive session, you guys. So thank you so much for being here. And just if we could each take a moment here and share something that really popped out. What was a eureka moment or an aha moment that happened for you ladies today? Was there something that really you got, the gears now to be able to put a 90-day action plan together? We talked about a lot of ground today, especially in the marketing space. So what was a eureka moment for you ladies?
So I had two.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first was definitely the focus and the priority that I was giving to too many things. And so I can see how pulling that focus down and letting that other stuff go is going to be more of a benefit that will give me more time to do that other stuff a little later, because right now it's scattering me too much. And the second part was kind of when we started looking at, like, who's influencing or what are you liking about them, and how to stand out and be different in our own journey, and sort of bringing that into, how we are showing up, branding ourselves, giving the image of our business. So for me, it was just it just really reinforced, like, the stress to strength kind of, my own journey of that, and how I want to share and how I want to help others to get through that. So it's given me a little bit of definition that I think I can build on.
Great.
I know I can build on. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Shanna. Thank you. Michelle, how about yourself? What popped out of today?
I think it's mainly that I have to have a focus audience, and then everybody else will come, I guess, right? That there is that one. And then the freelancer.com was a good resource to know, because since I'm starting, that other business, I feel like I need a logo, I need colors, I need graphics, I need stuff, and I don't really want to do those things myself.
Yeah.
And so I have to figure out who can help me with that.
Yeah, perfect. And freelancer.com is great for that. You can do contests. So a bunch of people will bid on your project, and then you pay the one that you like the most.
Okay.
So there's some really cool features there.
And is there a way that you or someone can help me come up with, like, a good marketing plan, so I know, like, where to start in Hourglass and, like, what I should be focused on?
So I don't want you to get lost in Hourglass, Michelle, right?
Okay.
The biggest thing is that Hourglass serves a marketing plan. A marketing plan doesn't serve Hourglass.
Okay, but I have no marketing plan right now.
Right. So go to your friendly chat GPT.
Okay.
Okay. Tell them all about you, what you're doing, and ask it for a marketing plan. And it's going to give you, like, listen, us marketers right now, do you want to know what we use as the first round draft when we go to build a marketing plan?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. This is all about time efficiency. Right? So full transparency, you come to Michael and you say, Michael, build me a marketing plan. I'm going to charge you X amount of dollars for that marketing plan. And the first draft of it's going to be generated by ChatGPT. So I'm not working from a blank canvas. And then I'm going to start to take all of my knowledge and all of my wisdom and my nearly 20 years marketing businesses, and I'm going to invest it into that, what it spits out. Right? But for us to build a marketing plan is a couple $1,000s. So why do that right now when you can, I mean, if you want to, but efficiency wise, you can get a pretty good idea as to how to get started by just going to ChatGPT and saying, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
And it's going to start giving you ideas. Right? So, I mean, I'm all about helping you guys accomplish what you want to accomplish. But there are some pretty efficient ways of doing it that you're sitting on that you just have to use. Then you go, okay, Hourglass can execute this part. Hourglass, I can use Hourglass to do this. I can use Hourglass to do that. Right? Hourglass is a set of tools. It does nothing until you have a reason to use those set of tools. So don't get lost in Hourglass. It's just going to be the tool that you use to do what you want to do. You need to plan first.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, ladies. Thank you so much.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble finding, like, I've got a couple printed copies, but I can't seem to find my digital, like, to download my 90-day plans. Could you put that in the chat for us to, yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you. Okay, perfect. Thank you very
No
much,
problem.
Michael. It was a great day.
Oh, good session. And Michelle, 90-day action plan, SWOT analysis. Got to get her done. You will get more excited about growing your business when you're working at these things.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. It was nice to meet you, Shanna.
Yeah, nice to meet you. We'll see you again.
Okay.
Everybody.
Okay, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.